Welcome back to Weather Nation. We are taking a look at South Bend, Indiana, and Cleveland, Ohio. These areas have been dealing with rain and a few rumbles of thunder already this morning. And we're talking about the threat for severe weather intensifying as we head throughout the afternoon for today and even into parts of Sunday, which is Mother's Day. But thanks again for tuning in. I'm meteorologist Marcus Walter. We're talking about active weather, we're talking about heat, and we even have some fire concerns across parts of the South and West, and we're talking about heavy rain in Florida. So it's a lot going on this holiday weekend, but if you are in South Bend, if you are in Cleveland, we're talking about storm chances for you as well. So let's talk about that forecast and let's talk about that storm risk. When we take a look at the outlook for today, whether you are in Chicago or Champaign over toward Pittsburgh, but especially Philadelphia into central parts of Pennsylvania as well, northern parts of Maryland, we're dealing with an enhanced risk for severe weather. And so we're talking about strong storms that are possible for later on today. In particular, across southern PA into southern parts of New Jersey into Delaware and Maryland, we're talking about a 30% chance of damaging winds. So winds in excess of potentially 58 to 60 miles per hour. So we're talking about, again, dangerous weather on the way for this afternoon. And as we track it, we'll see some showers and storms moving out of parts of New York and across Pennsylvania today, but then we'll really start to see that shower and storm activity intensify as we head throughout the late afternoon and evening hours. And again, the greatest threat with any storms that develop will be damaging wind, but we can't rule out the threat for hail or isolated tornadoes. Those chances are out there with any active weather that occurs for today. And as we take a look at the outlook for Sunday, we see storm chances are possible from central Illinois into Indiana and across much of the Ohio River Valley, and then also from Kansas City into northern parts of Texas. And we even have more storm chances once again across the front range of the Rockies into parts of Wyoming and Colorado. So active weather definitely out there. That continues into Monday, and you'll notice that similar path, typically out of Texas across the middle of the country and then moving east. This storm pattern, or at least these storm chances, they follow right along with the jet stream setup that's been in place for the past couple of days, and it really won't change too much as we head into early next week. We're dealing with this jet stream ridging across the middle of the country and then traveling pretty much west to east across the central region and to the northeast. Because of this pattern, that's why we're dealing with those storms traveling right around or right along the same paths. And so that's why we are expecting heavy rain, especially from Iowa through parts of Pennsylvania through Tuesday. But we're also expecting some rain and storm chances from Texas and stretching up and connecting to all of that activity. So wet weather definitely a part of the story. Severe weather definitely a part of the story. In Philadelphia, you'll be in the mix, especially today. And again, damaging wind, the greatest threat with any storms that develop. Sunday, Mother's Day, we're dealing with more rain showers, but the storm chances are starting to lower. Monday we'll get a break, but then the rain and storm chances move back in because we keep that same weather pattern in place, bringing us active weather. Now, we do want to talk about the heat across parts of the south and southeast because we're talking about temperatures on Sunday well into the 90s. And some of these areas you see here, they can actually set new temperature records for the day. So take a look at Athens, Georgia. The forecast high is 93 degrees. The record is 89 degrees. Atlanta, the forecast high is 92 degrees. The record is 93. So we will be close to setting records across parts of the south and southeast as we head through this holiday weekend. And as we look at Atlanta, we'll be warm today. We'll be even warmer as we head towards Sunday. But then Monday, well, we're talking about temperatures in the upper 80s and more rain chances, or at least clouds, moving in. Now let's take you to Phoenix, Arizona. This is one area that we are watching out for fire concerns. We have red flag warnings in place across a good portion of the Four Corners. We saw this yesterday. It was extended through today. So eastern parts of Arizona, New Mexico, northern Texas, western Oklahoma, and even southern Colorado, you're dealing with that fire threat. Now I showed you this jet stream. We're dealing with very fast winds across the Four Corners, and some of those winds will start to sweep in and actually lower or more or less mix down to the surface. And when that happens, we'll get drying taking place in that air. We'll get the winds picking up at the surface, and all of that is leading to fire concerns. And as we point out the winds, take a look at these winds sustained this afternoon, anywhere from 15 to about 30 miles per hour, with gusts even higher than that. And with the dry conditions in place, the warmth in place, and the wind, we're dealing with fire concerns. But as we talk about Albuquerque, you'll be under that fire threat as temperatures reach into the upper 80s today and even low 90s through much of next week. We'll be telling you more about your weather across the country, including that Mother's Day forecast, but also the forecast for wet weather across parts of the South. You want to make sure you stay tuned for that update.